Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Battlefield 4 News. Although there's no news on Battlefield 4 in this, it's all about Hardline. And we have statements from Visceral and DICE about the leak of the Hardline information. And we also have some character models, and we'll continue looking at the leaked video of Project Omaha. So Visceral and DICE have both made statements about the leaks in Battlelog and the leaked video. So let's start by seeing what Visceral have got to say. So here we have the statement from Steve Papoutis, who is the general manager of Visceral Games. And it would seem that they've been working on this project for quite a while, because it says several years ago he was in an internal meeting with Carl Magnus Tronson, who is the general manager of DICE, and they discussed what they could work together on. He says, "I've always loved Battlefield and KM was a huge fan of Dead Space, so we started talking about different ways we could work together, different ways we could take Battlefield and action games in a new direction, and from that point the project that would become Battlefield Hardline was born. I wish I could tell you more now, more about the ways we are adding new twists and turns to the foundation of Battlefield multiplayer. More about how we are bringing our strengths at Visceral to single player. We look forward to sharing more with you on the 9th of June. Now we might not have to wait as long as the 9th of June, because on his Twitter feed Steve has said that maybe there'll be something coming before then. Now this raises a couple of interesting questions, because it says that they're bringing their strengths at Visceral to single player. So if Visceral are doing the single player, just who is doing the multiplayer? We can be pretty sure it's not DICE Stockholm, because they're doing Battlefield 4, they've been doing Mirror's Edge 2, and they've also got Battlefront coming as well. But DICE LA have been noted by the absence of projects. They were supposed to be doing Battlefront, but now aren't, and all they appear to have done so far is a couple of DLCs for Battlefield 4. So is this the project that DICE Los Angeles have been working on? Considering both Visceral and DICE LA are based in California, this seems like the most logical team up. So let's have a look at the statement from Carl Magnus Tronson on behalf of DICE. So this statement again confirms that Visceral and DICE have been working on this cop versus criminal concept for several years, and that it's about to come true. Now he also states that the introduction of Hardline in no way means we're done working on Battlefield 4. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Visceral team is leading the development of Hardline, while DICE team continues to drive Battlefield 4. We are committed to giving you the best Battlefield 4 experience possible." So Carl is saying that these are two essentially distinct projects, Visceral's Hardline, DICE's Battlefield 4. But it would make sense that DICE Los Angeles is kind of acting as a middleman between the two. DICE Los Angeles is doing DLC for Battlefield 4, and it would make sense that they are also doing multiplayer for Hardline. But we'll have to wait to see if that's confirmed or not. And he goes on to say that Battlefield 4 is far from dead. There's going to be continued support from Stockholm, Uppsala and LA to address issues and make significant additions to the game. There's the netcode patch that we know's coming soon, because it is being kind of advertised, pre-rolled on the CTE servers. They've given an idea of what is going to be coming from CTE to live, and I talk about that in an upcoming video that's based on some CTE gameplay. And talking of CTE, well, Carl says that program is going to expand. And then he says other features rolled out recently, such as squad join, rent a server and loadout presets, many of which have been directly requested by you in the community. This trend will continue. So it looks like Battlefield 4 and Hardline are going to exist alongside each other, a bit like Battlefield 3 and Medal of Honor did. Hopefully Battlefield Hardline will be slightly more successful than Medal of Honor. Some character models for Hardline have appeared. Now I'm not exactly sure what the source of these character models is. I can't find it, it's just these models have appeared on various posts and tweets. Now they're labelled but only with the class name, and if you look at the police professional and the thief professional, well, I've had to guess which one is which. And these character models seem to draw a distinction between what the class roles are. If you look at the enforcer, which was assumed to be the assault, that looks more like a support to me because he's using an LMG. And the operator is in fact using an assault rifle. The mechanic is using a carbine, judging by the G36C that the police mechanic appears to be using. And the professional seems to be the recon. Now you can't learn much from the thief models because they don't show what they're carrying. But take a look at the police enforcer. Is that a bunch of syringes strapped to his vest? And if it is, does that mean he's the medic? Well, I don't know. But it certainly looks like syringes strapped to the police enforcer. So those character models and the statements from DICE and Visceral really don't answer very many questions. They pose more questions than they answer. And I guess we're going to have to wait until E3 or until Visceral make some earlier announcement to find out what's going on. So let's take a look at the last part of the leaked video. Well, we won't look at the video, but we can look at some more still images from it. So if you didn't watch the last episode of Battlefield 4 News, let me explain what this is. This is Project Omaha's trailer, and Project Omaha is better known as Hardline. But this trailer is from 6 months ago when it was under development, and gone through the first sections of the trailer, and now we're going to go through the gadgets and guns and the vehicles. So the first item we can see here is the taser, and during the video the taser essentially makes this guy crumple to the floor. Now you don't know if it's killing him or whether you can incapacitate in this video. But in the first section there was a shot of somebody being taken down with a syringe. So it does seem there's the option for non-lethal takedowns, and more than that, there is also the option for capturing opposition players, because we see scenes of a handcuff being used. So is this just single player, or does this mean you can incapacitate and capture other players in the game? This image seems to suggest that we've got frag rounds, because this guy is exploding while being shot with a shotgun. So unless something he's carrying is exploding, it looks like we've got frag rounds. And we've got the standard M16. Now this is probably an M16A4 rather than the A3, because it does appear to be firing fully automatic in the video. Now when you look at this frame, you have to bear in mind that the term technician, we believe, has been replaced by the term operator, and that we know some of these images are placeholders for the real thing. So that's obviously an AUG A3 being called an F220. But look at the loadout. That is an assault rifle with the XM25 flechette and the M18 Claymore. So that would appear to be the assault class without the meds. Again, we can see here there's obviously a lot of placeholders going on, because very few of those gun names relate to the gun pictures. But as you can see, you do need to buy guns during the game. Now it may be that money is simply being used in place of experience, so you earn money, not XP, and then you buy guns and attachments that way. This is obviously the multiplayer because you've got the full loadout option. Something else worth noticing is inside that wheel, where it says suppressing medium range. So it appears we still have suppression in Battlefield Hardline. This is a shot of a gadget from the single player, and it's the police scanner, which is essentially like a hacking tool, scanner, radio, all in one, and you can use it to highlight targets and also identify people with a bounty, and to examine evidence and get more details from it. So this is kind of like a magical PDA that does kind of everything in the single player, but won't be in the multiplayer. What is in the multiplayer is the 870 MCS shotgun that we know and love from Battlefield 4 and various other games, so that's making a reappearance. In this screenshot you can see that we're just going to kill with the R700 LTR, and that stands for the Remington 700 Light Tactical Rifle. So this is an urban sniper rifle that's sold to police forces, and it's essentially a normal Remington R700, but it's had the barrel shortened and lightened because it's for use in shorter range urban environments. There's a bit more information on zip lines in this part of the video, and it seems that you can use them anywhere that you can find a target to hit. So they seem to need a target that you can penetrate, something like the wall of a trailer or an air conditioning unit. You can't fire them at walls. But most of the rooftops seem to have conveniently placed targets for your zip line. The grappling hook, however, seems to be able to use anywhere. All you have to do is aim at a suitable ledge or the edge of a building, and the grappling hook will fire and attach itself. Then you just climb up the rope to the new level, and it would seem that every building and rooftop is accessible in this way, or that's what the video seems to suggest. So this seems to add another element to the rooftop gameplay that we've had in Battlefield 4, and the video even says that this is a great way of getting rid of campers, because campers aren't safe anymore. You can just zip line up to them. This is something really interesting. The video says that this is a multiplayer map and it's nighttime. So are we finally going to get decent nighttime combat in a Battlefield game? And the last section in the video is Vehicular Mayhem, or as everybody else in the world would say it, Vehicle Mayhem. Why do the Americans pronounce it vehicle and vehicular? Vehicular isn't even a word. Anyway, types of vehicles you can drive. So we've got muscle cars, and the opposition to the muscle cars is the police cars, and they seem to be standard cruisers. We have large souped up vans, come SUVs, come whatever that thing is, and those appear to be able to have guns in the back. In the video we only see the large police vehicles shooting forwards and the large civilian vehicles shooting backwards. But we seem to have a rough balance between muscle cars and squad cars, SWAT vans and large vans for the thieves. And we also have motorbikes. Now I'm assuming there are police motorbikes, but the one shown in the video is a civilian motorbike, and it's got one of the thieves trying to get away with the loot on the back of a bike. Now exactly what weaponised helicopters are available for each side isn't exactly clear. It does show what are essentially scout helicopters and transport helicopters. The scout helicopters definitely have weapons on them, but it's not clear who is flying them against who. But I assume for balance it's going to be both sides having them available. As to who gets the armed plane, I'm not sure, but it's only shown in the hotwire mode, which is the pursuit mode, so I'm guessing just the cops. However, as you can see, it's not an A-10 because it's got propellers. What I think it is an OV-10, which is a Navy scout plane, or was a Navy scout plane from the 60s. It's got a very similar silhouette and engine configuration. And that's it. These last two videos are all the information I've been able to dig up on Battlefield Hardline. There are a lot more rumours out there, but there's no evidence to back them up, so I've not included them, and I've pretty much ignored anything that's speculation on Reddit. To know for sure what's coming in Hardline, then you're going to have to wait to E3, and you can watch EA's presentation at www.ea.com/E3. It's happening on June the 9th, 12 PM PDT, which is 7 PM Universal Time, and that will be 8 PM in the UK. That's it for this episode of Battlefield 4 News. There will undoubtedly be more Hardline news leaked over the next few weeks, and Visceral themselves are on about making an announcement before E3. But I'll keep you up to date on all the Hardline and Battlefield 4 news. Thanks for watching.